Hey guys, it's Dr. Kalani Tuit. I'm a board certified family medicine physician that helps busy professionals achieve optimal health on the go. So, how many times have you had an event to go to and you said, you know what, I have tons of clothes in my closet and I'm not going to buy anything new. So, let me just try and see if I could fit something in here. You try on the first dress, it's a little too snug. You try on another one, you feel like you can't breathe. You try on another one. You don't like the way it's accentuating the things you want to hide. And then you just keep going through your closet until you find something. You're not quite confident in it because it's not what you really wanted to wear, but it suffices because it's last minute and you got to go. Well, that happened to me a couple of weeks ago. And so that's what kind of inspired me to have this conversation with you guys today because I want to talk about abdominal fat. Many of us look at our bodies in the mirror and we always look at things that we want to change, but we don't know how to change it, right? So let's talk about abdominal fat because it's stubborn. It doesn't like to go anywhere and it seems so easy that to come on, but it's so hard to go. So there's two different types of abdominal fat. There is subcutaneous abdominal fat and visceral abdominal fat, and one is worse than the other. So visceral abdominal fat is the fat that actually surrounds your organs inside of your abdomen. So this is the fat that surrounds your liver, your intestines, your kidneys, your pancreas, your gallbladder, all of those organs in your stomach. And there have been studies that have shown that people who had CAT scans, they measured the amount of fat that surrounded their organs, and once it was over a certain threshold, they had a higher risk of developing heart attacks and strokes versus those that did not have a significant amount of visceral abdominal fat. And this is the fat you can't see. You don't know about it until you have a CAT scan and they comment on it. Well, the second type of abdominal fat is your subcutaneous abdominal fat. That's the part you can see. That's that love handle you could pinch on the side or the muffin top you started to notice you have. And that's the fat that sits outside of your abdomen above the musculature. So I always think I have a six-pack that's hiding underneath some of my stomach fat. And so that's the fat you can actually feel and touch. And so there are a lot of us that judge people based on the way they look. But actually, some people are healthier than others. So you may have a friend who has a high metabolism. She can eat anything and she never gains any weight. Versus your friend who may be a little thicker in size and you're constantly looking at what she's eating and you think that, oh, she must not be healthy. But actually, I've had several patients come into my office and the person who may be obese based on her BMI, they're actually quite healthy. Their cholesterol's perfect, their liver function is perfect, they're not diabetic, it's just that they're a little thicker than the other person. And I have someone who comes in slim and slender and their cholesterol is off the charts, their blood pressure is elevated, and I have to constantly counsel them about their dietary habits because even though they look good, inside isn't doing so well and it's going to catch up to them. And so whenever you have a lot of fat, you have a higher risk of developing something called insulin resistance. And insulin is produced by your pancreas. Your pancreas is actually an organ that helps to remove sugar from your bloodstream. It produces insulin, and that insulin takes that sugar that you just ate and brings it to the muscles and the fat and says, hey, can you store this energy for me so that whenever I need it, it's available. So you may need that energy to run a marathon or to work out or to type on a computer or just to use your cognitive skills to think and come up with new ideas. Every aspect of your body needs energy. And so a lot of times you get that energy in the form of carbohydrates, from your proteins, your fats, whatever it is that you eat that turns into some form of energy. And so insulin helps to take that carbohydrate and store it for energy whenever you need it. Well, when you have a lot of fat, sometimes your fat cells get so overwhelmed and overburdened with all the carbohydrates it's seeing, it starts to become resistant to it. And insulin resistance is a problem. Insulin resistance can lead to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. And having all three of those things puts you at a higher risk for decreasing or increasing your morbidity and mortality, resulting in death. And so when there's insulin resistance, you can develop a syndrome called metabolic syndrome. And there are so many of us walking around with this syndrome and we don't even know it, because it has 5 criteria, and all you have to do is meet 3 of the 5 in order to be diagnosed with this. And guess what? Metabolic syndrome is completely reversible. So let's talk about those criteria. So the first one is your waist circumference. Now, waist circumference is based on your gender, whether you're male or female, and your ethnicity, whether you're African American, Caucasian, or Asian. And so you'll have to talk to your physician or your health coach about if you meet the criteria for this. Number 2 would be your blood pressure. If your blood pressure is over 130 over 85, you're taking high blood pressure medication, you definitely meet that criteria for metabolic syndrome. The third one looks at triglycerides. So when you look at your cholesterol numbers, we look at the bad cholesterol. And a lot of people know the bad cholesterol to be your LDL, which is your low density lipoprotein. But there's another bad cholesterol called triglycerides, which actually goes along with fats and carbohydrates. And when that number is over 150, that puts you at risk for metabolic syndrome. Then there's your good cholesterol, the HDL, the high density lipoprotein. If that is less than 50, you are also going to be at risk for metabolic syndrome. And then if your fasting blood sugar is over 100, so having a high blood sugar, a high HDL or a low HDL, a high triglyceride level, an enlarged waist circumference, and having elevated blood pressure, those are the 5 criteria for metabolic syndrome. And if you meet 3 of the 5, you definitely have it. And so a lot of times your doctor may not tell you that you have it, but you definitely meet the criteria. And so there are lifestyle modifications and exercises you can do to help reverse this syndrome so that you can have more energy, reduce your waistline size so you can build your confidence and look good in your clothing. And it gives you the energy to start thinking and being creative so that you can develop your plan to have generational health and wealth for your family. And so that is what my practice is designed around in terms of prevention. Prevention is better than cure. And so I'm just trying to bring awareness to this syndrome because so many of us have it and you don't even know it. So if you are liking what you're hearing or you're want to share this knowledge with your friends, definitely click the button and share it with your friends and family. Leave a comment below. And if you want some assistance in learning if you have this disorder and want to know how you can reverse it, please schedule an appointment with me with the link below, or you can find me on all social media at Dr. Kalani. That's DrKelenne. I'm Dr. Kalani Tuitt, a board-certified family medicine physician that helps busy professionals on the go. And so my social media account is Dr. Kalani, that's DrKelenne. And I hope this helps you. Cheers to life. Bye.